Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So today we are in my grandma's garage and we're looking at the LiftMaster 1245. And today I'm going to show you how to replace a board on one of these LiftMaster openers that looks kind of like a box in pretty much almost every LiftMaster opener. So first thing you're going to want to do, obviously, is unplug the unit before you work on it. Okay, so that's easy enough. Now the second thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to disconnect these wires. These wires are what wire up your sensors down at the bottom and your wall button. So just take a Phillips screwdriver and loosen these screws with the wires on them. And don't lose track of which wires go where. Excuse me. So yeah, don't lose track of which wires go where because you are going to have to put them back with the new board. So yeah, just kind of get those off of there and move them to the side. Okay, so now we have 4 screws and they're flathead screws that need to be taken out. So take a flathead screwdriver this time and just take these out. Whoops. Alright, there's one. Now just remember that the screws that are on top are gonna have, hold on a minute. The screws on the top are going to have washers on them. Okay, so make sure that you know
Where's the washer? Behind the board or?
No, it's on the bolt. Look. You see that? Right there? There's that washer right there.
Oh, okay.
So make sure that the one with the washers is going to go on the top, and the one without the washers are going to be on the bottom. So just make sure that you know which one goes where. Otherwise, it won't work properly. Okay, so now your screws are out, so you can go ahead and take off the board. Gonna pop it off, and there's gonna be a wire connector that's connecting this in, so it's gonna be up near the top. So just kind of look in there. Here, come over here. Let me grab the camera for a second. So you see those wires that are going into the board? There is a connector on those wires. So just get your finger underneath those wires and just yank it out. Might be a little stuck, but might have to.
They're not like zip tied in there, are they?
No, they're just on a wire connector. So just pull that out, and there you go. There's your board.
Okay.
Right? Okay, so now you're going to want to take your new board and basically just repeat this process the opposite way. Now, normally I would grease the gear in here because chances are hasn't been greased in a long time and needs to be greased. But this gear actually looks perfectly fine, believe it or not. This opener does not get used very much, but honestly, the gear in here looks perfectly fine. So now you're just going to want to do this again. Now, I think the hardest part of this whole job is getting the wire connector connected back onto here.
Where does it go?
See the wire connector right there?
Oh, okay.
And they go in those prongs on the board.
Okay.
And you're going to have to line it up perfectly because otherwise you might damage something, which is obviously not a good thing. And it's better to use a taller step ladder. And actually, I'm going to go grab one. So pause the video for a second. Yeah.
Turn off.
Mm-hmm. All right, we're back with the taller step ladder. And that's what you're going to need for this because you're going to have to kind of look over the opener so that you can get your wire connector connected on these prongs of the board. So just kind of, you're going to have to kind of just line it up perfectly.
I had a thought.
What?
I could be up on the other step ladder.
Oh.
And I might have a better angle. See what you're doing.
Like I said, this is probably gonna be the most difficult part of the whole job. Because you can't really see very well once you're up here. But there we go. All right, so you'll kind of feel it kind of go onto the wire connectors. So just keep pushing it until you can't push it anymore, and it's on there. So now we're gonna take our, I like to start with the top screws first. So we'll start with the top left. You're gonna need to move your cord and just kind of ease it on in there. Just being very gentle because you don't want to damage your new board. And you probably would be able to find these on eBay or somewhere. I don't know where, but I'm using it off of another one of these openers that I have. Now, I don't want to tighten it all the way in case it needs to just move a little before we tighten them down with the screwdriver. Also be careful with your wires, make sure they don't break. Because that's also annoying to have to restrict your wires. This one on there. And then last screw here. Okay, so now screws are meh tight, so you're going to want to tighten them all the way down. And just tighten them till they're snug. You don't have to go crazy. This isn't my favorite screwdriver, but it's the best thing I could find here at my grandma's house. But okay, so now that you have basically the most difficult part of the job done, now we're just going to need to reconnect your wires. Now, if you have your sensor wires, just make sure the two wires that are white are going to go on the second screw terminal.
I can't see it.
You can't. Okay, we'll come over here then. And then the two black wires are going to go on terminal 3. And then your two wall button wires, the black wall button wire or gray wall button wire will go on terminal 1. And then the white terminal wire. Hold on, these are mixed up. There we go. And yeah, they pop out a lot, so make sure they're on there.
Are those the things where you unloosen the screw enough to take the wire off and then you screw it back in with the wire under it?
Yep. Okay, so now we just have to screw the screws back in while holding the wire on there, because a lot of times they kind of pop off when you're trying to tighten them. And if they're not secure on the screw terminals, it's not going to work. Just like that, just popped off. Okay, that's on there good. Go ahead and pop on these wires. Okay, they're on there, and then we'll pop on these. Okay, so now that your wires are all set and done, we're gonna plug the opener back in. Your light should pop on. Wall button's wired, the wall button's lit up.
You want me to hit it?
Hold up.
How are you gonna do
Not
it?
yet. So yeah, just make sure that your wall button is lit up. Make sure that your sensors are also lit up. As they are perfectly. We'll hit the button. And it works perfectly. All right, so that is how you change a board in a LiftMaster garage door opener. I'm gonna go grab a remote to test it. Most of the time when these things fail, it's because maybe you have an outside keypad that won't program to it. You might have a remote that won't program to it. Usually will be the first symptoms of a board going bad. So I'm gonna go grab a remote and we'll test this out. All right, so I got my remote here. Open it back up. All right, and there you go. So also, it's a good idea to test to make sure that everything works as it should. Your wall buttons work, your sensors work. Yep, those are working. Your light should blink. All right, so there you go. That's how to change a board on a LiftMaster garage door opener that kind of looks like a box. So yeah, I have a LiftMaster 81LM in the mail that is going to be arriving here soon. So I'll have that hooked up to this, but for now, I got the Chamberlain 953 that works. All right, thank you guys so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe. I hope this was helpful. Have a great day. Peace.